The reason why we are not getting new infantry heroes right now is that last time we got two new heroes, which was Musyang and Bahorn. I just actually did a guide about Musyang, which I think she's one of the best overall heroes in the game. And of course, we have Bahorn, right? We have to speak about Bahorn. I have some ideas, I have some good tips how to make this hero work. So, at first, as always, we're gonna speak about Bahorn's skill set because that's important. Without that, it will be hard for us to pair Bahorn with the correct heroes, right? First of all, we have to mention Bahorn is G2 hero, which is flyer. That's a big plus because we have been waiting for a flyer hero for a while, right? First skill is a very far skill, which we have to mention. Very far means like major range type of skill. Deals diffuse damage, which means the deals damage to two surrounding enemies, which is good against infantry. And what's extra good is that we are getting 30 extra rage, right? Extra rage is kinda like especially great for the skill damage users, and this hero actually has a skill damage factor which is 1000, which is pretty nice, right? Second skill, which is yet again pretty unique because it works only if you have flying units in your legion. Legion ignores enemies 10% attack. You are getting 10% attack for yourself, and also you are getting 20% march speed, which is, yeah, like some debuffs, some buffs. Not bad, right? Nothing really spectacular, but not bad. The third skill is actually the most unique skill which we have in the game. You are getting flat 10% defense bonus, but for every single troop type, you are getting different buffs, right? For example, if you're gonna use infantry troops on the Bahorn, you will have 50% more counter-attack damage bonus. If you are using cavalry troops, you are having 5% all damage dealt, like cavalry unit damage dealt bonus, which is pretty nice. If you are using marksman troops, you are basically getting normal attack damage bonus 20%. And if you are using mages, you are getting 10% unit damage reduction, right? Honestly, I believe the best buffs out of here, it's marksman and cavalry, right? I love the normal attack damage bonus buffs, especially like 20% is quite a good number. And of course, cavalry unit damage dealt bonus is 6%. That's also good. Well, counter-attack damage is nice, but I think we don't have flyer infantry so far, at least, right? But yeah, that's it. Magic unit defense is nice, but not that amazing in my opinion. The fourth skill is pretty cool. Upon taking damage, Legion loses 50 rage, deals damage to the target Legion 300, which is quite high for a one skill, and gains resistance 10% damage taken reduction. And the awakening skill, basically whenever you're gonna use your first skill, it will give you 30% crit rate, right? Honestly, from the skill set as an archer player, I have a good opinion regarding this hero because it can be worked with archers, right? But basically I have three type of hero pairs and type of gameplay which I can share, which is one marksman, cavalry, and magic, right? Unfortunately, we don't have infantry flyers so far. Hopefully with the new faction we're gonna have it, but it is the day right now, so let's speak with whatever we have, right? Let's start for the mages, because I think for the mages this one might be a weaker one, but it does not mean that it will be bad one, right? For mages, I have couple of heroes where I think Bahorn can be fine. I will mention that I'm trying to make the flying units work here. That's why I will be mainly using flying heroes for this guide, right? I have one option, which is Bertrand. Bertrand can be nice because all the defensive stats we are getting from the Bahorn will be useful for Bertrand, because Bertrand kinda needs some time to actually deal the full amount of damage with these marks, right? And the second skill, like when Legion deals damage, like hero skill damage, they gain 1 stack of golden mark for 5 seconds, maximum 3 stacks. So you kinda need some time during the battlefield to actually use the Bertrand skill set, and I think Bahorn's tankiness will actually give that, right? Plus, we all know that Bertrand is single target damage dealer, which is a weakness in my opinion for mage gameplay. That's why using Bahorn with Bertrand, Bahorn is giving you some, at least some AoE, so you will have some AoE damage from your march together, right? Of course, for this hero pair, you are putting like even Bahorn or Bertrand, they both have skill talent tree, which I truly believe is the best one for the mage gameplay, because mages are mainly using they're like dealing damage by the skill, so skill increases skill damage, so that's all good, right? And yeah, that will be my my one hero pair, which it will be working, of course, for the artifact. I think Mirage Orb will do its job. Even Bahorn is getting some buffs and debuffs through from his skill set, not only the Bahorn, right? And I think you will be dealing quite a lot of damage from the Mirage Orb, but it doesn't really mean that the Mirage Orb will be the only artifact which can work on this hero pair. Of course, there is another one such as Breath of the Gargantis, more of a debuffer, which will be working, of course, and Phoenix Eye, right? Most universal magic artifact which we have in the game and basically works on every single hero pair. For the Warped for Bertrand and Bahorn, I would go for the Shadow Fade or Sapphire Fade. That's the two choices. For more damage, purely from the Warped, I would go for Sapphire. I truly believe Sapphire is the still best mage Warped for dealing damage. And for sustainable damage, for extra damage through the debuffs, I would go for Shadow Fade, depending on your gameplay, depending what kind of skills you have on your Warpeds, right? The second one with the Celestials, right? Because we are speaking about Celestials. Of course, Bahorn and Thea with Celestials would be another great choice. I even think that it would be even better choice. Simply why the amount of buffs Thea will give us, plus Thea is the flyer hero from the day one, and of course all the buffs and debuffs will actually work for Bahorn. Even the shield, like 1000 shield, might even work with the force skill, which is like whenever you are getting damaged, you will deal more like you will lose up some rage. Maybe that damage will go to the shield and it will be even better. So that's like another Celestials hero pair for Bahorn. Of course, for the artifact, still everything keeps same, but we have one extra thing for this like with the Thea hero pairs, which is one artifact, Wizard of the Sanctums. Of course, this artifact is especially great whenever you have Thea in your legion. All the shields is beneficiary for every single hero, basically, right? And even with the Bertrand hero pair, I think this shield will work absolutely well, right? Of course, that's enough for the Celestials. We can easily go to the Archers, which are my main troop type in the game. And of course, I have some more insight and I will go in much more details why I think Bahorn can be worked and can be played really, really well with the Marksman if you are Wilderburg player, right? Of course, let's speak about most normal one, Bahorn and Thea. And of course, we have to mention the normal attack damage bonus, which we are getting from the Bahorn's third skill, which if we are using Marksman, right? If you are Wilderburg player, you understand that Wyverns are pretty good. Some people might say it's really, really bad, but from my own gameplay, I can say that Wyverns are pretty good. They have pretty good synergy from the normal attack damage bonus, which is here, Wildfire. Whenever launching a normal attack, 30% chance to increase HP by 2%. HP is the best buff for archers, and normal attack damage by 6%, right? So it can stack, right? You're gonna get normal attack damage bonus even by playing the Wyverns and some HP, right? And plus from the Bahorn, you're gonna get 20% extra, which is pretty cool. Plus, I already mentioned regarding Thea why she's good with Celestials. Pretty much same thing with the Wyverns. That's why it's most basic hero pair, right? Another hero pair for the Bahorn with the Wyverns is of course Bahorn and Craig. Pretty easy to understand why. Craig is another archer hero which is dealing damage by the skill. Plus Craig also has the also deals damage to two targets at the same time and also has some bleed. I generally do feel like Craig actually deals quite a lot of damage, especially during wars, right? Hero skill damage dealt bonus, because also we are dealing damage with the Bahorn by the skill, which is pretty cool. attack bonus, defense bonus, pretty good bonuses for epic hero. Basically, all the Craig's playstyle works absolutely fine with Bahorn. So basically, if you want to go for a more offensive playstyle, you are going for the Bahorn and Craig. And if you are going for the more defensive playstyle and you want to stay alive longer during the battlefield, you are going for the Bahorn and Thea, right? I truly believe marksmen are most preferable choice for the Bahorn playstyle, but yeah, we have way more mage players in the game than we have archer players, so that's the reason why we see more with mages than archers, right? Of course, as a flyer, I have mentioned before, Visage is just simply the best artifact for the flying heroes and flying gameplay. If you can get that, that can be cool, that can be nice. If not, for the archer gameplay, I truly believe like Shadow Blades, even Heart of Kamasi can be absolutely fine, like any legendary artifact for this gameplay, besides like Rattle Spear, because Rattle Spear you will just stand still and that's not for you. Basically, not Rattle Spear, not Gilded Crossbow, not Iron Tusk. You can use Wireless Bow, you can use Gold Crest, you can use Shadow Blades, you can use Heart of Kamasi. They all will work pretty fine, right? And yeah, in terms of Warpits, well, you gotta have a couple of choices here. Also, I think Snowpeak Rogue will be nice choice, but unfortunately we won't gonna get the damage from the defense break, but we're gonna get quite high amount of physical attack, right? Also, Night Rogue can be fine because, well, Night Rogue will be fine if you have Awakened Bahorn and you're gonna utilize with the crit rate 30%. It will work absolutely fine with Night Rogue. So here still you have a couple of choices, but mainly you have to choose the all the heroes and the Warpits which are flyers. But because the main idea of Bahorn, we want to fly, that's the reason why this hero actually got introduced to the game, right? One last type which we're gonna speak is of course Cavalry. Here you might say it might be the weakest one, but no, I truly believe it works pretty fine because I think damage dealt bonuses for cavalry troops are really good, right? I would not say it's the best one, but I believe you can actually play with them and you can have fun with them, right? So Forest Eagles, they are great because of the high march speed, and that's the idea of the Forest Eagles. And yeah, Forest Eagles has Forondil, Forest Eagles has Thea. Of course, Forondil and Thea and like Bahorn and Thea will work absolutely fine in the same way as it worked with Wyverns, as it worked with Celestials, right? That's the reason Thea have been so good, that she can be played with every single hero. We are speaking about flyers, that's why I have to mention Thea on almost every single troop type. Even here, with Forest Eagles, you won't gonna deal too much damage with the Forest Eagles, Bahorn and Thea, but you will be tanky and you will survive a lot of fights. That's the question, how much you want to survive or how much you want to deal damage with Forest Eagles. That's totally on you, right? Of course, if you want to deal more damage, like kind of same idea, you can go Bahorn and Craig, and you can basically run with the Forest Eagles. You will do actually kind of same as you were doing with Wyverns, but you will deal less damage. That's basically the idea, right? I'm pretty sure a lot of players have seen Craig used with cavalry. He's great, right? So Bahorn and Craig, even with cavalries, Bahorn and Forondil. But in this case, I would always use, if you are using Bahorn and you want to use Bahorn with the as a primary hero, I truly believe skill talent tree is great because itself Bahorn is dealing damage by the skill, and even if you are playing with Wyverns, even if you are playing with the Celestials or with the Forest Eagles, I still believe skill talent tree and PvP should be the choice to go for. And of course, I will show you my way which I wanted to build it. If you want to go for skill talent tree, Thirst of the Blood, when casting a rage skill, your legion deals additional hero skill damage. That's pretty cool. Spirit of the Rage, casting a rage skill grants 20 additional rage. So basically, skill talent tree is all about getting rage, all about skill damage factor and dealing damage by the skill, right? Raging Tide, your legion deals 15% more hero skill rate damage, which is nice. When launching a normal attack, your Legion has 10% chance to gain hero skill focus, increasing their hero skill crit rate by 10% for 5 seconds. And yeah, crit rate are inside the Bahorn skill set, even with the awakening skill, even with the talents. In battle, your Legion ignores 2% of enemies' HP. Basically cool because we will be hitting mainly infantry because we like to hit infantry. We are dealing damage to two of them at the same time. That's also some aspects of the Bahorn gameplay. I believe PvP, I believe skill talentry or PvP talentry should be the choice here. But of course, I will mention as always, you have to read the talents, decide what's your gameplay and how you want to use this hero, right? I'm just sharing my ideas. I'm sharing the gameplays of other people which I have watched playing this hero, and hopefully you will find your desired hero pair in this small rant, and you will decide maybe Bahorn is the hero you want to build, right? We have been waiting for the flyer for such a long time. I was actually waiting for the Wyvern hero, but I did not, and I never expected that we would have such an unique hero which can be played with everything which is in the game. This hero, I think, is basically connected to the like your faction, because flyers are like totally different from like normal troops. So try to utilize the flying mark of this hero because you will have fun playing as a flyers, right? Never underestimate wyverns because I highly rate wyverns in my own gameplay. Hopefully you understood more from this video than you knew before you watched. Bahorn is pretty cool hero which can be really good in some occasions, right? As always, if you like the video, press like, subscribe, share. It always gives me more and more motivation to make more content for this game. I wish everybody amazing day, morning and night. We are going to see each other really soon. Bye bye and good luck.